For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lauren. I am a CRNA in Alabama, certified registered nurse anesthetist. Part of a nurse anesthetist job is to provide anesthesia for laboring patients. This past week, we have had 2 major hospitals in the state of Alabama close down their labor and delivery units. This morning, I came across this video, and it is heartbreaking.
Good evening, Kristen family. This is Labor Delivery signing out for the last time.
That hospital is in Jefferson County, which is where Birmingham is located, but over 1/3 of the counties in this state are maternity deserts, meaning there isn't a single hospital in those counties with an L&D unit. And we can now add Shelby County and Monroe County to that list because both of their maternity hospitals will be closing their L&D units soon. The 2 major issues that are causing this are an inability to recruit OBGYNs, not just to work, but even to train. Why would a physician want to train in a state where they're not allowed to perform several of the procedures that they'll be required to perform in other states? Second major reason, arguably the most impactful reason, is the massive healthcare coverage gap that our state legislature has created. If you owned a small business and 1 out of every 5 of your customers was unable to pay for your services, you wouldn't be open for very long either. We had a chance to close that gap a little recently when the Biden administration expanded Medicaid, which is something that Alabama voters support overwhelmingly. And that's not just Democrats. Less than 1/3 of Republicans, 20.6%, oppose Medicaid expansion. They must all be in our state legislature because the state of Alabama was one of 13 states who refused additional federal funding to expand Medicaid. When I say there's a coverage gap, we're not talking about a little one here. Here's a portion of a video I did on this earlier. How poor you have to be to qualify for Medicaid in Alabama? If you're single, you have to make less than $20,000 a year. Family of 4 has to make less than $41,000 a year. Minimum wage in Alabama is $7.25 an hour, which would put a minimum wage full-time worker below the poverty level. But Alabama said, no, we're not going to make it that easy. We're going to look at your monthly income. If you're single and your pre-tax income is more than $1,057 a month, you are ineligible. So you can be a full-time minimum wage worker, be below the federal poverty line, and still not get Medicaid. Either have to have a really good job with really good benefits, be rich enough to pay for your own health insurance, or be living in a cardboard box on the side of the road to get health insurance in this state. There is no in between. They have purposefully created a massive coverage gap. The money that we could have gotten in this state from the Affordable Care Act would have provided health insurance coverage to an additional 283,636 people. The government argued that that would cost the state $225 million a year to provide that coverage. Got that number from a 2022 report that was submitted by the Public Affairs and Research Council. That same report showed extended coverage would create 20,000 new jobs each year and have an estimated positive economic impact of $11.36 billion over a 6-year period. Alabama is an extremely red state. A trash can with an R by its name could get elected. See Tommy Tuberville. They are forcing women to give birth in a state that has the 3rd highest infant mortality rate and the highest maternal mortality rate in the country. And still, they refused federal funding that would have made it safer in a state where almost half of the counties have no labor and delivery unit. It means the labor and delivery units in other hospitals are going to be overwhelmed with patients who have driven from 3 counties over to give birth, or we're going to see those infant and maternal mortality rates go way up when women have to give birth in an emergency department that has no NICU. At this point, voting for Republicans in this state is the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.